Hello, my name is Natalia, and today I'm going to recite and analyze a nice poem. I think that it is a good resource if you are an English teacher or if you work in a bilingual school, or simply for pleasure. I found this poem in a website called Free English Video Lessons, thanks to Nines, who talked about it some weeks ago in our WhatsApp group. And it's in line with the topics we talk about this year. We were talking about of expressions about animals. Christina explained us some expressions and words with birds and with owls. And some weeks ago we learned expressions with cats. So this poem is called The Owl and the Pussycat. I'm not an expert in poetry, or I'm not an expert on poetry. I think both options are correct, but I will do my best. So firstly, I'm going to recite it, and I'm going to show you a video to understand better the meaning of some words of difficult expressions. Okay. I'm going to recite it by heart.
By heart?
By heart.
Oh my God, thank you. That's wonderful.
The Owl and the...
Without the sound. The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are. You are, you are, what a beautiful pussy you are. Pussy said to the owl, you elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried, but what shall we do for a ring? They sailed away for a year and a day, to the land where the bone tree grows, and there, in a wood, a piggy stood, with a ring at the end of his nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring? Piggy said, I will. So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand, on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon. The moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon.
Excellent.
I have one copy for you, because we are going to analyze it. Well, this poem was written by Edward Lear. It was published in 1871, and this poet is well known by his humorous writing, his humorous poetry. If we talk about the structure of this poem, it is divided into 3 sections, but if we speak more technically, in 3 stanzas. Okay, and now we are going to go through it to explain every word you don't know the meaning. I have one copy for me here. The owl and the pussycat. The owl, what kind of animal is an owl? Yes, a bird and a cat. So in this line, in the title and in this verse, we have the first contradiction, a bird and a cat together. In a beautiful pea green boat, it's not only a green boat, it has the color of peas, okay? This kind of shade. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a 5-pound note. Do you know what is the meaning of the expression of the verb wrapped up? Okay, I have 110 note. When I went to England last summer, this is a 10-pound note, okay? In the poem, we have a 5-pound note. And wrapped up is to do like this, to envelop something, okay? Especially in paper. So they wrapped up in this 5-pound note some honey and plenty of money. What else? Difficult vocabulary. We have tarried. In the second stanza, we have the word tarried. Tarried is a synonym of wait. They wait a lot of time. They sailed away for a year and a day. A year and a day is a very common expression in fairy tales. I forgot to talk about this term, pussycat, because the author uses pussycat and piggywick. These terms are like affectionate names for animals, okay? A pussycat and a piggywick. Children usually use these kind of words. And this poem is written by children. So this is why we have
for children.
For children.
Okay.
So this is why we have this kind of vocabulary, this kind of term in this poem. What else? Willing, the word willing. What to will? It's to want to do something. In the third stanza, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling? A shilling. It's related to money. Do you know what is a shilling? It's an old coin. I don't know if the expression is correct, that it was on worth, or I think it was the 1/20th of a pound.
Yeah, 1/20th of a pound.
Yes.
In the 18th century or so, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. They dined on mince. Mince are little pieces of beef or meat. Little pieces.
Oh, can I say something?
Yeah.
A minced, but if you say it for short like that, it's for minced pie. Minced pie is the typical pie, British pie, with minced meat inside.
So they dine on mince.
With pie, meat pie, meat pie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And queens. Queens. I'm going to translate it into Spanish. I think it's membrillo.
Ah, wonderful. I thought it was a kind of jam. Kind of jam. Yeah.
Which they ate with a runcible spoon. In this poem, we have 2 invented words. One of them is runcible. Runcible. the author invented this word, but it has a meaning I'm going to explain to you. And the other one was in the second stanza, bong tree. A bong tree. Okay? A runcible spoon is like a fork. Okay, we can see it on the screen. It's like a fork, but it's curved, like a spoon.
Mm.
Okay. Runcible spoon. This is a runcible spoon. Okay.
Okay. Weird.
Mm-hmm. And what else? Well,
If you want to ask.
yes, if you want to ask anything. Foul, the word foul, in the second stanza. It's a term that refers to any kind of bird. Okay? Bird. Any kind of bird.
That we keep for the meat or the eggs, or we keep to eat it.
Uh-huh. It's more used. It's more used in when we talk about birds, domestic birds. Mm-hmm. Okay, what else? I think it's all. If we talk about the vocabulary and the expressions, if you want to define the language style, what would you say? It's complicated, it's funny, it's... I need your collaboration.
What's the meaning of long tree?
It has no meaning. It's an invented word, but I looked it on the internet, and it's a small tree with... No. With a lot of... I don't know how to say in English, but it has a short stem.
Trunk.
Yes,
stem.
and lots of leaves with a round shape. Okay? This is a long tree.
Usually nonsense words, words that are made up, evoke something in the listener's mind. If you hear bluff, you think of something funny, somebody falling or whatever. If you hear bonk tree, you think it's something small and stout or thick, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why they drew it like that. It's not that that's the meaning, it's that that's what it evokes, culturally speaking, in native people's minds. That's what it evokes. Okay?
Okay.
Natalia, according you have said, I think the author repeats all the stanzas, all the rhymes, so it's very easy.
Yes. We are going
Because
to
the
talk
scheme
about
is the
this.
same in all
Yes.
the stanzas.
It's very easy to learn it.
Mhm.
Yes.
And the rhyme is the same. The author
The
uses
rhyme.
the same rhyme.
Yes.
It's
Like a nursery rhyme story.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the theme, it's about love.
Impossible love.
What does it mean?
No, but it's possible. Because I have an interpretation.
And what about the end?
The end is that
It's like
they were
this.
married.
And that's all.
Oh, a fucking happy ending.
I thought there were one more. There
No.
was one more at least.
You can write the end, another end, a different and recite next week. Okay, and what kind of rhetorical devices
H.
With an H.
Yeah.
Did you find in this poem? For example, Carmen said lots of repetitions. Yes, but also the rhyme and the meter. Okay? You can see the repetitions at the end of each stanza with a ring at the end of his nose, his nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. And I think that the poet makes this kind of repetition to evoke a certain kind of musicality, I think. It's like music. And if we talk about the rhyme, we have rhyme between verses, for example, the words love, above, okay, at the end of the verses, but also internal rhyme. For example, the words they took some honey and plenty of money. Okay, we have two kinds of rhyme in this poem. An important thing to explain in this poem is the use of irony. The first contradiction is that a bird and a cat can't be together. Okay, a cat is going to probably kill the bird.
And we were expecting it.
Yeah.
We were expecting some blood.
And what else? In the second stanza, you can read the pussy said, "Oh, let us be married. Too long we have tarried." We have here in this poem the two characters, the main characters, the owl that represent the male figure, and the pussycat, the female figure. So in 1871, it was impossible that the female part of the relationship proposed to the male part. Okay, this is a contradiction, but it is a humorous poem, and this is why the author writes like this.
And it's also funny that she calls him foul.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like, I'm going to eat you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't say owl, wise bird.
Yeah.
She calls the owl foul.
Yeah. And one thing that they have in common, we can find it in stanza number 3, in the third stanza. They danced by the light of the moon. They dance by the light of the moon because they are known to be nocturnal animals. Okay, this is a common thing, a common characteristic they have. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, and I need your help, is the interpretation of this poem. A good thing of literature and poetry is that, in my humble opinion, is that you can interpret it in the way you want. So it's free. In my case, I think that the author, it's important to know that he was homosexual, and I think that with this poem he wanted to claim an exaltation of unconventional marriage between two species that they, by nature, they can't be together. So why not, in that time, why not a man and a man can be married, or a woman and a woman? I think that he wants to evoke, to claim this exaltation, this idea. What do you think?
And this is why I told you
Mhm.
the theme I don't agree with love. It's impossible love. If you think about what you are talking about right now, the theme is not only love. It is impossible love.
But he wants to demonstrate that this is not impossible. I think, and this is all.
Wow.